is, man. You know,
it's to me, you know, it's like
what it is.
In public opinion, you're either going to assume somebody is guilty or innocent. That's just human nature. I assume that fucker's guilty. Why? So, because there's such an outpour of people giving similar stories that it's enough to sway me.
Without any concrete evidence.
Yes.
I don't believe none of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It was a roast on my man, the Coz.
Because he was trying to buy CNN, right?
I ain't got nothing to do with all that, man. Yeah. It's just a black man trying to make big boy moves, and you know they don't like that. They don't like that, man. But Coz in that was sealing the pussy, and if that's what he was doing, then he had to do the time.
My thing is, look,
I don't know.
If he actually did the crime, then yes, he got to do the time. And just because 1,000,001 women come out and say that he did it, I can't just go and believe that he did it without any concrete proof or evidence. I feel like it's America. You gotta.
You know, they didn't ask me my personal opinion. They didn't ask you. We can only go by what we.
Oh, that's because no black people were jurors. You know, and they rushed that trial.
I mean, I know if they'd have picked one, that it wouldn't have helped him. So you know.
I mean, it might have. It might have been enough.
I'm talking about me personally.
Maybe not you.
Yeah, right. So.
But maybe had it been me, I'd be like, yo, I need evidence. Yeah. I'm not saying that the man didn't do this.
Right.
And I'm not saying that he's not some kind of. I don't know the man personally. I don't know Bill Cosby. I don't know Heathcliff Huxtable.
No.
I don't. You know. So what I'm saying is that without some concrete proof or evidence, it would have been hard for me to convict this man based on some he said, she said kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at Andrea Constand, her story has changed a bunch of times, like dates and times. Supposedly, like saying she took some tickets to a show after the assault. Supposedly, she, according to one of her some information she provided to the police, she went back to his house alone to confront him about the assault. You know, after it happened, of course, naturally, which doesn't make sense. Like, who does that? At all. You know what I mean? Like, some things just weren't adding up. You know what I'm saying? So
she needed a peace or something.
And all the time she was at his house, and you know what? I'm not saying that this justifies any type of assault, but you know, she goes to the man's house, she takes all these trips with him, and his wife is never around.
I get that.
So they had some type of romantic relationship. So it's easy to say that possibly, maybe things didn't pan out the way she wanted them to. She got a little upset about it.
It could potentially happen. It's also unique, but not impossible to confront your attacker.
I get that.
In scenarios like this could happen.
Then you settle with your attacker.
What you wouldn't do
with some bread.
Look,
you got some bread years ago from him. Like, so I mean, you know, that wasn't handling it.
Yeah, right. They had a settlement. You know,
so does that mean that he's
settlements don't mean
innocent of the crime because she took money?
No, whatever they worked out, Kyrie, and it was handled legally.
It does,
and I paid, I paid a fee for it.
Right. It doesn't mean that you're innocent of a crime, because a lot of different people and agencies will will give out settlements just because they don't want their case
somebody getting paid right now to deny.
Right. They're still guilty as hell. They just don't want it to be out there, you know, public eye. But for me, with the whole situation, was that one, I just needed concrete evidence. You know, I need like a rape kit or something like that. It's so hard. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but when you try to, you know, convict somebody or say somebody raped you like 10 years ago.
The quickest trial ever, dog. This one was in like 2 days, dog. They rushed the hell out of that.
And there's no other witnesses to corroborate.
And by Wednesday, they was like, guilty, Bill, locked up. Like, yo, come on, man, get out of here.
You know, it's just hard. And like I said, you know, like, he said that he provided women with quaaludes. No doubt, he didn't lie about that. But like we said before, we had this conversation about Bill before, it's a difference between giving somebody a quaalude and drugging somebody. It's one thing if I put it in your drink and you don't know about it.
They wanted that, man.
You want these quaaludes?
They wanted the
You're like, yeah, I can give you some quaaludes.
You seen the Wolf of Wall
and you know I'm trying to, we're about to get down. I can give you these quaaludes. You know, it'll make you more comfortable, more relaxed, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how quaaludes work. I've never taken anything.
Yeah, so, I think they're pretty bad now. So
at that point in time, I guess everybody was doing them. So that's what I'm saying. So that's my
pay for protection in there, Bill. You be good, man. That ain't about nothing.
But I'm not saying I don't know, because maybe he was drugging. So maybe this is karma. Maybe he did drug some women and got away with it, and now this time he gets caught up with the one woman that he actually didn't drug.
It's just at 80. What are you proving locking him up at 81, 82 years old? Like this.
Because I know, you know, if we want you, we'll get you.
Like,
nobody's above the law.
You know, like your whole life demanding
almost nobody's above.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So you know, get the fuck out of here.
So anyway, Bill got 3 years, but they're trying to appeal the case, so he might not do all 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's the rumors about him
still fucking
smacking
Bill.
face with chicken patties.
I read that. Was it yesterday or today that he got? I read that. That he got.
I told you that's kind of like
That
in
what?
part 6, where he was hitting the people with the beef patties, the vegetarians.
He got smacked in the face with a chicken patty in the cafeteria area. Apparently, he made an inappropriate joke that somebody didn't like to the point of throwing chicken. And it's jail, so like that's real mystery meat. It wasn't like a chicken patty. Yeah, I had something like that in a hotel in Dallas last week. Like whatever it was, I knew it didn't taste like chicken. And it reminded me of fish sticks.
Oh,
and I was just like, no, that's the end of the game.
Oh wait, this is chicken.
Yeah, like
this is what you're serving.
I'm not even gonna finish this because this is gonna mess up the rest of my day. Anyway.
But yeah, so that's Bill. So Bill's gonna appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know he ain't trying to sit there and do 3 years. So I think he might do it. I don't see him doing it all 3 years.
We'll see. He's not a young man.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
No, but that's funny. Speaking of which, other people who aren't necessarily young men, Mr. Knight, sure.
Oh,
I mean, so we can debate Bill's innocence.
Oh,
You got video of him running the shit out of these people.
Concrete.
Yeah,
running
man.
people over. Actually hitting one guy and then coming
it
back.
amazes me that he's
like,
no, not saying it in this way, but I am
magnificent
saying it in
scumbag.
this way. It amazes me that he's still alive. Like that motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
because you got to feel like retribution should have came in the form of if all stories
He's a piece
are
of shit.
anywhere near true, then you got to feel like he's been dealing in dirty business for decades.
That's
so
his
for that
lifestyle.
not to come back to him and haunt him to the point of death by now, just goes to show that he's got some luck behind him, but it sounds like it's running out because he's getting real time for this.
now
Yeah,
he's
he's doing like 30, right?
53, essentially 28 years. He's gonna be 80 years old.
Oh yeah.
He's not a small man. You don't see a lot of people
That's
that are 280 up in their 60s. You know, there's a reason for that. They don't usually make it. B, exactly that type of stuff. Right, you're not active as you were.
Oh, and best believe,
Never,
you know, his next altercation could be the one, because I'm sure they're coming for that ass.
And to that point, like, you know, the karma, the dirt, the things that he has done in the past.
So many
who knows
people
where
wrong.
that could. Right, like.
Yeah. But then again,
He might get shaken by somebody's son that he wronged and didn't know that he was an inmate. Like,
but then
know.
he might not, because his some twisted way should rises above all that shit and still
Rats, roaches,
be
and shit.
and just be the like king scumbag, like the kingpin, sort of off of Daredevil and shit. Like he's that fucking guy. Like you know, he really is. To be around still now, like you were with all the shit that done went down, everything. I even watched that nut ass Michelle A story, and it's not funny, but it is. I'm saying, like he tormented the shit out of that. Like,
Suge did.
Yo, yes.
Okay.
You know
I had no recollection. I don't know anything about that.
He, you know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, Dre, you know, was true at that time, was, you know, doing whatever. He was a little wild with his hands, and, you know, Suge was playing teddy bear cool boy at first, but then when, you know, eventually came over, you know, started dealing with her, but had her on the tip, with like, you know, he paid for everything, you know what I'm saying, the whole lifestyle. And when he got booked, he told her that, and if you want to keep the lifestyle the same, you got to come see me like I think it was every weekend. It didn't matter if your son's birthday, didn't matter like you know what was going on. Somebody passed, no, your ass better be up here, or I will not be paying that but my office hours. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, if you want to get the money, like there has to be something you got to do. What's free?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, I understand.
So
the board is
he lived a life.
Yeah.
But now he's gonna be 80 years old. Nobody wants. He's 50s right now. You know, essentially
That
grandpa
fucks me
age. And now you got to go to prison for 30 years. That's not really how you want to spend that part of your life.
Yeah.
You know?
But you ran people over.
Yeah.
Hard.
Killed one, maimed another one.
On video.
You were a part of having, you know, one of the most iconic rappers ever assassinated. Man, I don't give a fuck what's going on. Even back to the pictures, it don't even look right. Like Suge, like
Who you talking about?
Pop.
So maybe he was involved in like two of them. Like, you know, you just don't know. And that mystery and all the things that are have been publicized. It's just like, wow.
Like this.
It took this long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's time right now.
Yeah.
So to speak. You know, so yeah, that's crazy. But hey, man, you know, it is what it is.
Ain't it?
Scumbag of the week.
Is it him?
And we got a rumble for it.
Well, this one got his comeuppance too, man. Your boy, Mr. McGregor. Did you see that?
That is a rumble. That is a rumble.
Yeah, I
for it.
saw it. So that dude Khabib, he's like a human boa constrictor.
Oh,
like
that's crazy.
if he only had this, that's all. If he only grabbed you by your pinky, in 3 minutes, he's going to be over top of you, either pounding the shit out of you with his fist,
got supreme
or breaking whatever
His cardio is phenomenal.
issue he wants to break on you, or choke you out. Like awesome cardio. He actually won the stand-up. Like, if you look at the hardest hits, the most telling shots, the shots that made the most impact, he rocked him. He buckled him. Conor did nothing of the sort. He was mucho afraid of getting his embrace, and B,
Now, I know Conor came in all
loosey goose with the Vince McMahon strut, thinking he the man, but nah, man, he got his ass whipped.
Hey, man, look, Conor and his camp, they assaulted that man's religion. I think they assaulted his family.
Yeah, he got his comeuppance all the way on that.
But you know,
man.
I get it. I don't necessarily take it personal. I know. Well, see, the thing with Conor is that he be walking that line like that racism, or I'm just selling the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Some boys cut from a different cloth.
And I'm not even saying that's racism because the dude is white. He's just Muslim. He's just
Right,
a
right,
Muslim,
right.
white Muslim Russian. But
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just made
You
sure.
see him?
Yeah, I seen it. I just wanted to make sure. You know, we always have
You
these
called
talks.
him and told him.
Yeah. Watching the fight again. Let's see how I whooped his ass, everybody. Let's
No
watch.
alcohol.
I toasted Billy right. Yeah, you right. After a fight, man, one thing I'm doing is I'm trash. But you know, that just means he's a machine. You know, he's now. Don't go racist with that though, because like anytime B-Hop would win a fight, he would celebrate with like cheesecake. And maybe some French fries or something. There was no alcohol in that, man. Floyd don't drink. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really throw the race card on that. Supreme athletes
B-Hop
that have an
did
understanding of
B-Hop
what's
did that
important.
time in Pennsylvania State Penitentiary.
Sure.
I'm sure he got a little. Islam touched him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
Who
got.
knows? It's possible. But I'm just saying, you know, the supreme athletes are the ones who know, you know, those intoxicants are bad. But to your original point, I even bet on Conor. Like, it was a weird bet, just to sidetrack. Me and one of my coworkers, we bet, we're both in the same fantasy football league, and the bet was the winner can make whatever one player trade they want to make.
Okay.
So I picked Conor because I had no knowledge of Khabib. He was just like, he just buttered me. It's a 50-50 fight, you know. You pick 50 grand. All right, well, I know hands, so let's go hands. And he wound up taking Christian McCaffrey for me, but he gave me Shady. So if I would have won, I have an open roster spot. I was going to pick the worst kicker, pick him up, and trade him for Kareem Hunt. Like, he was sort of merciful in the way he handled it, which I appreciate. And even in hindsight, we talked about it, he's like, yeah, I was probably too nice to you. You got that right to work, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Conor, I mean, at this point, he's always going to be the hype machine. He's still going to be the money.
Yeah,
He's
he's taking that note
show anything of merit in that fight, so I don't see why a rematch would be the immediate.
But he took the page right out of Floyd's book. You know what I mean? He knows how to sell a fight.
Yeah, and he was doing that before Floyd, but yeah. And I mean, you know, Floyd didn't originate it, but to your point, I get it. Yes,
He knows how to do it. And I think there will be a rematch, just because it's still Conor McGregor.
He might want to fight the boy Ferguson next. That was he looked pretty good. And who was the one that said my balls are hot? I can't think of his name, man, but there was a good fight. Like, I don't know if did you see that fight too?
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to land that right the whole fight. He just knew if I hit him with it, curtains.
Yeah,
It must have been 20
I-
seconds left in the fight. He tagged his ass.
Yeah, I forget
finished
his
the
name.
dude.
Yeah, but
He's an entertaining dude. That whole interview, and he said that, and Joe was like, "It's cool. I understand. Like, I've been there. Like, he didn't even rattle. Like, it was just, it was a good show, man. I was glad I watched it. Shout out to the Fire Stick for working for once.
yeah, that's how I watched it.
Yeah, damn right, absolutely.
I mean, that's not how I watched it. I paid for it.
I paid for the Fire Stick.
Yeah, you paid for that shit.
Yeah. So what else we got?
But he tried to tear Conor's head off. That wasn't just a choke.
Like the magnificence of the chokehold was that he wasn't under his chin. He wasn't on his neck. He made him tap just on the chin pressure. Like, I don't want this to happen to me anymore.
Dislocate
The hell
jaw.
with exactly. He was worried about disfiguration. Like, he was getting to the knit and the grit. Like, wow, he's an impressive dude. He's gonna be hard to beat.
Yep.
Now,
but that brings us back to the whole. That's why UFC is so dope. That's why it's so exciting, because no champ is on top for forever. Khabib got his number. Somebody's already got his number. It's coming. He's not going to. It's going to happen. A little bit down
I
the
feel
road.
like you said that as like a passive aggressive boxing dig. Like, no boxing champion is on top forever.
Oh yeah, no. But I think they might be on top a little bit longer than UFC fighters. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's the nature of the sport based on the promoters having to intermingle, whereas with the UFC, it's just a promoter. You know, I want these two to fight, so I'm gonna make it fight. When in boxing, I want these two to fight, I have to talk to him to make sure that we can agree on what's good for them. So it's too many other parties involved. So yeah, you're right. You're actually right.
There's no
there.
reason why Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua should move forward at this point in time.
Yeah, and the next fight up is
I do look forward to
Deontay
that,
Wilder and Tyson Fury.
And Tyson Fury needs. I don't think he's going to win, but he needs that
hell
fight
no.
because he's got to prove so much to everybody.
Tyson Fury is the walking embodiment of Irish Terry Conklin. Like, he is all great white hype, and you know, he beat Klitschko, which was kind of like when
Still was an
he
older Klitschko.
knocked out Malisha Baz in the dressing room, and Deontay Wilder should be the Grim Reaper Roper
Deontay
here,
Wilder
just
got a chin like no
beat
other.
the
It's
piss out of
crazy.
him. And Deontay Wilder ain't great, you know what I mean? Like, if you were to take him and drop him into 1996, he may
I know,
be a 10
technically,
to
no.
15
Technically,
contender.
no.
If you dropped him in the
Yeah.
70s, he wouldn't even.
Because that style
he wouldn't have done anything.
Exactly.
Right.
That wouldn't have
Right, but he's got the heart. He's got the chin.
He's got the size, and
Yeah.
the size grants the power. Being 6'6", 6'7", as any, you know, obviously you need to be a heavyweight for that, but yeah, the fact that you can have that reach and that, you know, that pull on that right hand makes a big ass difference, man.
yeah.
But you know, he's the best of what we have now, him and Joshua. But either one of them, and I hate to be that relic back in my day, dude, because I'm not that guy. But just from a style perspective, like, I can't really envision anybody in the top 5. And I don't want to say hate. I dislike Riddick Bowe more than any other fighter ever. But I would take him above both of those dudes.
Really?
Yeah.
Riddick Bowe.
Oh, I could see over Tyson Fury, definitely.
Deontay Wilder too, man. Riddick Bowe was an Olympic trained, and Wilder was too. So you can't.
gonna say.
But there's different
I seen
parallels.
something with Real Sports
The-
on him in Vander Holyfield. Riddick Bowe.
The training and the pedigree that you needed to become an Olympian in the
Little
90s
different,
is and now times you just needed to be tall, athletic, and willing to listen. And I'm sure that's what Deontay Wilder is. Whereas back in Riddick Bowe's days, you had a ton of people like that, and you had to actually be better.
Put that work in.
You know, like so. And I hate that I went down this path to discredit what Wilder is doing. It's great. He's doing a hell of a job. He's representing the country. He's the best heavyweight that America has. But it's just a different time for heavyweight boxing.
Yeah. This is true. And that's an old argument, as a matter of fact. You know,
Yeah, there's none of that going on.
But he's gonna beat Tyson Fury today. It's gonna be a good fight. Good payday. I like it.
Yeah, there's no reason why that fight should go to distance. He should stop him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But Fury got a lot to prove. You know, drug addict.
But he don't.
Crazy fat.
He doesn't have to me, he's got
To prove that he's still worthy to be boxing and fighting. You know what I mean?
Sure, but I never deemed him that. So everything that he's getting now is like just cocaine on the CD cover. Like, that's just for him. Like, you know, he should have never beat Klitschko, but he did, and he got to be the heavyweight champion of the world. He should have never been heavyweight champion of the world, but he got it. So, you know, enjoy the spoils that comes with that, but to say that he has something to prove, to plant his flag as a heavyweight,
his return. He's trying to.
this is it. He gets knocked out in December, and then he becomes that fringe dude that can make some money being the name.
I know he loses.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I
Still talking about this white man?
Yeah.
I can't, you know,
I
and
know he loses. And
it's not even a 100% chance that the December, I think, second fight happens, because he may come to his senses and try to do whatever he can to postpone it.
He gonna fight.
All right, we'll see.
He gonna fight him
Just we got it on record, like that. I won't be surprised if that gets pushed back.
He's gonna fight him, and I think it's not really about him winning. It's just about his performance in this fight. This is what people
at his best, he's mediocre.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
Man.
Moving
Right on along.
right on.
Oh, I tell you what, man, I was watching something really good on TV right before I got here. Basketball is Life. It's an ESPN documentary. It just really talks about the evolution, how basketball came. Like it has like audio from like Dr. Naismith explaining the game, like talking about what he had to do to stop you from dying in the initial. Like if we do this will stop casualties. Like basketball has evolved, I guess is the moral.
Wait, it's going to stop casualties.
Yeah, like this
these heart issues that kids have on it?
No. It was a very violent game back then. Like in the way it was originally orchestrated. Yeah, no, the hell, like the last thing people in the 1800s are thinking about is like some cardio issues or safety. I'm sorry, Dr. Naismith, Dr. James Naismith is the inventor of basketball. I apologize.
Okay.
That was good that you did that so that the layman can understand. But it just talked about from there where it went and, like the 30s, 40s, 50s, and where I had left off, it was in that.
What the fouls back then? That's what you saying?
Yeah.
Evolution with everything.
Yeah, I mean, I left off in sort of the Chamberlain, Russell, civil rights era, so I'm gonna go back and finish it. But it's just some people in history, like they did so much that they almost don't seem real. Like you just they're like an aura. They're like mythical. Like
talking about Wilt numbers.
Like Wilt numbers. Like
like 50. Like Wilt averaged 50 points, dog, and like I don't know 30.
Things that Oscar Robertson did as a basketball player. One time they beat Seton Hall. I forget how much Cincinnati finished with, but he beat Seton Hall 57-56 himself. Like things that Kareem did. Like.
It's a different time though, and you're looking at athletes who are superstars amongst. They're kind of almost like a gods amongst men.
Yeah, very much so, but gods nonetheless. Right. So you have to acknowledge the godly of them.
Oh yeah, but I don't think if they were to play today, they would still have those same type of games.
I don't know because they were
because they would still be upper echelon for the most part.
They were exceptional back then when people didn't put as much emphasis or as much time into perfecting their craft, which is basketball or baseball or boxing, whatever it is at that time. So those men were exceptionals. They were natural talents. But today you have some people who are natural talents. You have also other people who just really train hard. There's more.
So some things evolve.
You have more to gain.
Devolve.
Like they still gonna rise to the top.
More people are involved.
Those people are still gonna rise to the top.
Right. Like Oscar Robertson and Jerry West would still be All-Star Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Wilt still gonna ball like that. That's not gonna change.
But today, does Wilt still have a 100-point game?
Probably.
Nah.
He might. He might.
Right. No.
Nah, he doesn't.
They might just throw it down to him in the post.
If Kobe doesn't have one, if Shaq doesn't have one, if LeBron doesn't have one.
David had 73.
How much?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like
is it 100?
They've come close.
It's not.
Is it close or is it 100?
They've come close. Kobe had
but it's not 80. About close. It's about 100
you're right.
Game.
You're right.
He's not getting it today. That's not happening. Constantly feeding him the ball and nobody can figure out a D to stop it. That's not happening.
I don't think it would happen. I just don't like to use the phrase impossible.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's impossible because, like you said, these people have had 70-point games.
Because not only that, because if you're doing that, you got to do it both ways. Because now you're saying what he was back then, but now he mixing some of today's game into that too.
Right, so he's like super shredder.
I'm just saying,
so you know what I'm saying? So he's dropping a beam. He's dropping a beam 50. Now he's talking that because he's shooting threes too.
I'm just saying, if you were to pluck him out of 1960, 1970,
he's dropping a beam 50.
Yeah. The same boxing argument that and that's what I was sort of thinking. Like basketball's evolved in heavyweight. Like you could welterweight boxing different, but heavyweight boxing has devolved in that. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, in those 3 decades, you can factor in some of the 60s as well, but you had the very best, the gold standard of the sport. And after the Evanders and Lennox of the world, it kind of went downhill to just the tall athlete that could maybe learn how to throw a punch. But basketball has just, the genetics, the medical advancements, the coaching, everything has just evolved that to these dudes being uber, super, supreme athletes that can play into their late 30s, early 40s. You know, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all these dudes made it to their early 30s after the wear and tear just eliminated the chance for them to continue to play at a high level, where you have the LeBrons, the KDs, those type of dudes, they're already cognizant of that, you know, through education. So they're going to do what they can to keep their body at a high level going forward. And that's the same with boxing, like Floyd being a high level best fighter on the planet in his 40s, where Sugar Ray Leonard was like a has-been in his mid-30s.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because even when you go back to a lot of athletes, 50s and 60s and things like that, professional sports wasn't their only job.
He's been
working in a factory, working at a plant.
Right. Your only source of income, which is Brinks trucks upon Brinks trucks upon Brinks trucks, to be this machine.
Exactly.
You're only doing yourself a disservice to not do it. You're looking for excuses to not be in tip-top shape when that's your only job. Like, you know, the Joes like us that still manage to go to the gym every now and then, we do it because we recognize the health value in it, but they are sort of contractually obligated to be.
No gyms like that back then?
No, nothing at all. Right, absolutely.
Don't play no tennis, man.
A dungy basement where they was doing reps between cigarette packs. Oh yes, I'm on the bench next.
Exactly.
Need more oxygen. You know, so yeah. It has all advanced, most certainly.
I still don't think he would drop 100 points today, though. That's my final.
I would bet against it.
Final. I don't think so.
That's cool. Then you can think that he's dropping $150.
You're not dropping $150. That's just being ridiculous.
$150 on this.
But to Sleeve's point, though, the evolution of Wilt would mean that
I don't care how many shows
almost like,
What you mean? We're going to have all types of moves. It's just not going to be down low. I dunk on you now.
Right.
Little hook shots. He's going to be pulling up on niggas, cross niggas. Wow, come on, youngin. Come on, I'll play that game too. $150.
It'd almost be like what Embiid is. Like that's sort of what the evolved version of Wilt is. But yeah, that is a hypothetical.
How many attempts does he have to score 150 points?
But the most important thing about the evolved Wilt that you would hope is that he'd be a better free throw shooter, so that he would get to the line.
Ain't nobody else shooting that game, dog. He was just on. Give me the ball.
And like I said,
that's how that game was. They got 100 points.
I don't think he would. So I'm half supporting his argument. He had competition, but
come on, if you got 100 points, you don't have any competition.
How don't you, man?
Because you scored 100 points.
Hey, man, what you mean?
There's no competition.
There was competition. How? And he just outshined them.
If you score 100 points, you have no competition.
Yes, you do. You just outshine them. Your shit, your swag was way more than them that night. Okay? Being on y'all niggas. Excuse me.
And you say that night, like, you know, he had 100, but it wasn't like he didn't have like.
He was already averaging 50.
Right.
So that what he was already averaging 50, dog. So what was come on, a game.
I only had 73 against
like
Syracuse.
Wilt lived in a real odd period in time where clearly he didn't have any competition on the court, and he didn't have any competition when it came to pulling chicks either. After the games.
Why would he?
Nobody
It's a giant
I
man.
remember Kareem telling the story of him and Wilt being on the elevator, and some shorter white dude got on, and he was, "What's the weather like up there?" And Wilt spit in his face and said, "It's raining."
Like that?
Right. He probably nudged Kareem out of everything in half. Gee, okay, whatever. He ain't gonna do shit, watch. He's saying all this out loud. This white man's there.
Yeah,
He ain't gonna do shit.
Because he's not.
And
With a big ass butterfly collar joint he had on, chilling with a little fro and beard. Bang. What's up? What? What?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, to
around that time, yeah, like
hypothetical, like for there to be a Wilt Chamberlain in this time that was as evolved as he was for his era, he needed to be like 7'10". With those type of physical attributes.
And that's all types of glandular disorder.
Right. You guys know how tall the tallest dude in the world was?
Some
8
dude
something,
from
like what?
Bulgaria or Yugoslavia?
In the history, well, so the documented history of the world, no, he's from the northeast area of Massachusetts.
How tall was he?
8'11".
Oh, wow.
And he died at 21.
Dang.
So he could have continued to grow.
Right.
He died from an infection in his leg that a brace gave him to stabilize his ankle.
Yeah. Because there's some type of gland. Or
It's like a
brain.
gland in your neck.
Sometimes they can operate it,
brain.
and sometimes they can't.
Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. It really depends on if it is A, acknowledged, B, if they want it to be removed. Because Andre the Giant had it. Andre the Giant had it.
Oh, the gland that makes you keep growing?
Yeah. Pituitary gland, I think is what it's called. And he didn't want it removed because, he was making a living off it, basically. But this dude, 8'11" in his early 20s and was still growing. Like, had he not had that shit go wrong in his 30s, he could have approached 9 feet.
All these people have bad knees.
Yeah, so he was able to walk with braces, but the second documented tallest dude, I think, was 8'8", black dude from the South.
Oh yeah, I seen him.
Had to be carted around in a horse and buggy because he could not stand. And I say documented because, Manute Bol was 7'7".
Yeah.
You got to think
much
he
thinner
came,
than these other guys.
right? But my point is, you got to think his height came from somewhere. Like he's got to have a grandfather, a great grandfather, deep in the Sudan.
It's a difference
that might have been 8'9".
There's
nobody
having like tall genetics
and that's just like
a hormone issue.
Otherworldly to think about that he had a taller relative because he was 7'7", but you don't know. And yeah, he didn't have the caricatures, the traits that you normally see in somebody that had that pituitary issue.
As tall as he is.
No, his son is 7'1", 7'2".
Right.
Bol. Yeah, he's probably going to be a lottery pick this year because he's 7'2", can shoot,
and he might grow.
Jump shot. Even if he don't grow, he can ball.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I think he's going to Oregon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember like when I was younger, I used to always read that Guinness Book of Records. Just the weight one, you realize is just a byproduct of just some gluttonous dude. I think the biggest guy ever.
And it makes some genetics as well.
Yeah, because you can't.
Genetics as well.
I think the biggest dude in terms of weight may have been 1,400 pounds that I remember reading about. And I remember that dude Walter Hudson when we were kids, who was in the news a lot, and he was 1,200. So that's just like.
When you're
that.
Everything about you just looks stink. Like it's grotesque. Odor. Yes, dog. Like think about 1,200 pounds.
I know.
Like do you understand?
1,400 is almost.
Like they gotta cut out shit for you to.
You would think that something inside
of
you would like burst. Like how do you?
That's just the basic thing.
How crazy is the human body?
How do you shit?
You can come back from that. You can lose that.
Yeah.
You have surgery.
Dog. No.
That's wild.
How can you correctly wipe your ass being 1,200 pounds? I think is really the crux of the argument. Like,
What do you sit on? What kind of toilet supports that weight?
We talked about Andre shitting
in the tub.
That's a
in the tub on a hotel bed. Like, there's no toilet that's gonna.
Who's still feeding you?
Somebody knows you got to eat.
And that was the whole thing I remember about.
There's still people. Gosh.
Walter Hudson, like they was talking about like what he ate, and it was just like 8 Big Macs,
like you get what I'm saying, but like that type of shit.
Like,
I'm not bringing nothing, but like either you gonna eat that healthy shit,
you gonna throw the broccoli at him, right?
Eat this shit and die. Put some sauce on that motherfucker.
I would just give him a plastic bag, like here's some air. You have this. I'll be back next week.
Nah, they need nutrition. They still have to eat. Just
That's
have
cool.
to diet.
Get them a granola
Actually,
bar.
no, and you can't even diet that size. You just have to have surgeries. You have to have surgeries. You're gonna have to.
So
have
I would think the first, which is only a new thing. The first thing that you would need to have is psychological evaluation and guidance, because you have some sort of internal problem that makes you think that you need to eat this way.
And not even that, but you also probably have all types of self-esteem issues that you have to deal with as well.
Chances are they're single in most cases.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing that can fit you. What are you wearing? Sheets? Like what? What
you ain't functional, so what do you care what you wear? You're not going outside. Like you can't fit through the goddamn door. But just all that type of stuff, like the tallest dude, people with the long ass fingernails, longest hair.
It does. Some things can make you kind of think like, that looks like it stinks.
That is a real extreme, man. Happy to be normal. I don't know that I would want to go through like 8 feet tall. Like that just feels like a hassle. Because at 38, we're definitely no longer in the league, even if we ever were. And you're not just going to be able to just put on a Walmart smock and go about your day to day. Like you almost got to get public assistance. Like you can't really have a normal 9 to 5.
So do you make, I don't want to say a spectacle But do you use your height to your advantage at that point? Like
You have to.
enough
You
sell
have
the
to
item,
because
you know,
You have
it's like-
to.
you go through so much of your life with that being a disadvantage. Any opportunity that you can seize to make that your advantage, I would think you have to pounce on because there are so many things that you can't do because of it. You know, like you got to play both sides of that if you're thinking right about it.
Take it stuff you just take for granted, like getting in a car.
Right. The same taking the shit premise that we use to the Giants applied to somebody 8 feet tall. Like you got to sit there and more importantly, get up.
I can't fit no stall.
No, flying? Oh my god! Like
Just standing anywhere.
Giant got to take 2 seats all the way to the front.
exactly, and he's drinking on the plane, so you already know at some point he's gonna have to take a piss. He wasn't fitting in there, so
He's
the
probably
stewardess,
he's got to like open the door and just piss through the door into the.
the stewardess would have to like just carve out a section of the back by the bathrooms and just put a bunch of towels down where he could piss at.
Damn.
Like he's not going like you're all incredulous about it, but this is real. He's 7 feet, 500 pounds all the time, not just when the camera's rolling. So you have to deal.
I get that. That's why your ass got to fly private or something. You can't be on no regular plane or nothing like that. Shit.
If well
What you mean
affords,
this
you
giant?
can, but if you can't afford it, you gotta fly. Like you can
mean
afford to
this
fly.
giant on it. You gotta go pee, man. Oh, word. So
Could you
nobody
imagine
else,
being
so
in
nobody else, so I can't go pee, huh?
Could you imagine being in the 3-seater with him?
No.
And you got the window. There's nothing more claustrophobic than I'm trapped in the closet. You ain't going
No,
nowhere.
right here. No, I'm just saying it's cool. I get to sleep right here. I got this little
Start having all
hat.
kinds of sneezing fits.
Oh, man.
I got this little hat.
Already you sneeze and fart.